In Kerala, in Karnataka and most recently in Uttar Pradesh, right-wing Hindu groups have been up in arms. They claim that Muslim men are wooing Hindu girls with the sole purpose of converting them in the guise of marriage. Most recently, incidents in Uttar Pradesh, in Meerut, Gaziabhad, have again stoked the fires of this controversial claim. What is the reality though on the ground? How much truth is there in these claims? Does love jihad actually exist? Headlines Today conducted its own ground check in western Uttar Pradesh, and it seems far removed from the right-wing claims of love jihad. Simi Pasha files this story.
Sangh Parivar leaders have been claiming that they have records and databases that list not just one or two but hundreds of forced conversions. They claim that this is a concerted effort to undermine Hindu sentiments and numbers. Right-wing groups even coined a term for it. They call it love jihad.
निश्चित रूप से ये बहुत बड़ी गंभीर समस्या है। नाम बदल करके लोग सड़कों पर खड़े रहते हैं और ऐसे लोगों के कारण ही पश्चिम में तो विशेषकर माहौल खराब है।
And rescuing a Hindu girl on that particular cases, we are transferring that complaint to concerned police station and we are giving information to local Vishwa Hindu Parishad with the help of the police authority taking appropriate legal action.
मुस्लिम लड़कियों ने क्या हिंदू लड़कों से शादी नहीं की? उन्होंने भी की है। मेरे यहाँ का एक बहुत बड़ा इशू था, बड़ी मुश्किल से मैंने सॉल्व कराया। तो ये शादी तो बहुत पर्सनल इशू है, इसको इतना लेकर के राजनीतिक बवाल क्यों पैदा किया जाए? मदरसों को टारगेट कर दिया कि साहब मदरसों से लड़कियों का ट्रैफिकिंग हो रहा है, ये हो रहा है। ये अगर हो रहा है तो आप क्या कर रहे हो? आपके एयरपोर्ट के ऊपर पुलिस क्या कर रही है?
Out of the 12 assembly seats that are going to buy polls in the state, 5 fall in western UP. Reports claim communal incidents post Lok Sabha elections are being reported in clusters around these assembly constituencies. While it's a known fact that caste and religion play an important role in Uttar Pradesh politics, recent incidents indicate it's a formula being used to polarize communities and develop vote banks. A month ago in Gaziabad, Nishu's 16-year-old daughter ran away and got married to a Muslim boy. For almost a month, she was untraceable, and the Hindutva brigade kept up a clamour saying this was a case of love jihad. After 40 days, the police traced the couple in Delhi and finally arrested the man for running away and marrying a minor.
24 तारीख को छठा महीना था, उस दिन मेरी लड़की को पहला फुसला के ये लड़का ले गया था। अब 40 दिन तक पता नहीं इन लोगों ने ले जाके उसके साथ में क्या किया क्या नहीं किया, मुझे तो ये बात तो पता ही नहीं होगा। लेकिन इन्होंने वहाँ पे जाके निकाह भी कर लिया, नाबालिग लड़की है।
The Sangh Parivar has a concerted campaign running across western Uttar Pradesh to convince Hindus that incidents like the Muzaffarnagar riots and the alleged gang rape in Meerut were all sparked off with a mission to convert Hindu women. On the ground, we find no evidence that proves any existence of love jihad. Simi Pasha, Headlines Today.
Similarly, what happened in 2009?
So is love jihad for real? Our reporters on the ground have found that it's a hoax. It's just being trumpeted up with the aim of polarizing voters. But I'm also joined on this broadcast by another journalist who just come back after spending 4 days in western Uttar Pradesh. Rohan Venkat Krishnan works with Scroll.in. Rohan, welcome. With us also in the studios, Vasundhara Pathak Masudi, senior advocate of the Supreme Court. I must mention here that she's married to a Muslim. She's Hindu originally, and she will give us a closer sense of the reality of love jihad. Vinod Bansal is the spokesperson for the Vishwa Hindu Parishad. It is the VHP that is raising this bogey most ferociously all across western Uttar Pradesh. Also with us at this time is Kuwar Bhatendra Singh. He is a member of Parliament of the BJP from Bijnor. Thank you all very much for joining us. I want to go across first and foremost to Vinod Bansal, because we've seen in that report, sir, that there is no conspiracy called love jihad. If you see the advertisement campaigns that the VHP, the RSS and various affiliates are running, it would almost seem as if there is a concerted conspiracy at this time. Our ground reality report shows that nothing of the sort is happening.
कैसी बातें कर रहे हो आप? It's a fact on record. Love jihad is not the name given by us. ये केरला हाई कोर्ट के जजमेंट का पार्ट है, जो वेस्टर्न कंट्रीज़ में रोमियो जिहाद के नाम से फेमस है। और वो जो भारत में आयात करके जब आया तो केरला हाई कोर्ट ने स्वयं ये जजमेंट में 2012 में जून में कहा कि लव जिहाद is a heinous crime and it should be stopped
The
immediately.
proof kahan hai? Where's the evidence?
Oh,
You're
it is-
making
it
it
is-
seem as if there is a conspiracy. Every single instance of a Hindu woman who married a Muslim man whom we approached, several of whom didn't speak on record, all of them said privately that they'd got married of their own choice. It's not as if there is a concerted conspiracy. You're doing society a great disservice
Not
by
at all.
trying to
Not at all.
inflate this balloon.
बिल्कुल नहीं, ये फैक्ट ऑन रिकॉर्ड है।
राहुल,
हमने
I
हमने
have the
हमने हमने
reports.
अनेक बहनों को उनकी पीड़ा को सुना है, उनके दर्द को समझा है, उनके परिवार के साथ जो बर्ताव हुआ है, जिस प्रकार की आतंकवादी गतिविधियों में उनको शामिल किया गया है, जिहादी एक्टिविटीज़ में उनको सब फंसाया गया है, जिस प्रकार से शादी के नाम पर शादी करके धर्म परिवर्तन किया गया और धर्म परिवर्तन के बाद में उनके बच्चों के साथ में क्या हुआ और उनके साथ क्या हुआ और अल्टीमेटली कई बहनों को तो अरब कंट्रीज में जाके बेच दिया गया है। These are the fact on record. I can show you so many proofs.
No, but even if in the odd instance
Rahul.
this has happened, there is no conspiracy, and that's the point.
Why
This
not?
is very,
Why not?
very.
It is a conspiracy, sir.
No,
It is
but I think there is no evidence to substantiate that this is a
It has
conspiracy.
been acknowledged by the Kerala High Court.
No, this
it has
is-
been acknowledged by the Kerala
No,
High Court.
this is the wrong
This is
proposition.
a
I would
very
like to
dangerous,
intervene.
very
Police
volatile
ne-
I
issue.
would like
You
to
made your point.
intervene.
Don't
I would
monopolize
like
the
to
debate, Mr.
intervene.
Mansi.
When
Yes,
it comes
Vasundev.
to Kerala High Court, I have got the documents with me what the Kerala High Court said. During the proceedings in the Kerala High Court, there was only one particular incident, one particular case where there was a suspicion on the forceful conversion. During that case also it was found that it was not a forceful conversion. The girl first was sent back to her parents on the basis of the forceful conversion theory, but later she was reverted back to her husband when she appeared before the court and confirmed and denied all the allegations against forceful conversion, and she said she conceded that she married out of her own volition, out of her own choice. So this is a concerted effort which I believe. If at all, I must say on this very eve of independence that India was born as a secular country, which was later confirmed by our constitution, which provides us constitutional guarantees, and more specifically under Article 25 that each and every citizen of India is free to profess and practice any religion of his or her own
absolutely.
choice.
But not by
Now,
coercion.
it means that no single element of the state, much less the government, can interfere into my private right of choosing as to which particular religion I have to follow or practice.
Rohan, there are facts,
It's not
there is
about
spin.
India.
We're seeing a lot of spin over here. Independently, outside the report that Headlines Today has put out, tell our viewers what you saw in the 4 days that you spent in Western Uttar Pradesh. Is there really something called Love Jihad on the ground?
My sense is that it's a campaign that's entirely being carried out by those who would like to make up this idea of a love jihad. No one I spoke to said that they had been forcefully converted. There are separate cases where there might be kidnapping, which is another matter altogether. But even the idea of love jihad as put out by the right is that it is consensual. They're not claiming that anyone's being forced. They say brainwashing and so on and so forth. But they're saying that they are seduced and persuaded to come into this, which there's nothing wrong with that. And there's no specific thing that says there's a conspiracy to turn anyone into a Muslim and then sell them so on and so forth abroad. I didn't find anyone who told me that, oh, you know, I met this person initially, they convinced me, and then later on, you know, they asked me to do things I didn't want to do. It was always consensual.
Kumar Bhatendra Singh, now there's one thing for the right-wing extreme elements like the VHP to raise this campaign, and this has been one of their pet peeves for a long time. But when BJP MPs start endorsing it, and I have here a comment from Saharanpur MP Raghav Lakhanpal, who says there have been 250 verified cases of love jihad in Saharanpur, Shamli, Muzaffarnagar in the past 1 year. That's when it becomes very dangerous. What was so far on the far right in the extreme corners of our polity now seems to be coming center stage. Why is the BJP at all, as a responsible party of national governance, associating with such a hoax, such a non-reality, something which is completely not true?
रिकॉर्ड्स को जुटला रहे हो राहुल जी।
Record
I
says,
would now like you to give me,
Yes, Mr. Singh, please.
will you please give me time?
Yes, I will, sir.
I've been hearing it. Now, I want to inform you of the ground reality. I'm surprised your learned journalist never reached out to the person in Meerut, in Sarawa village, in police station Kithor, where it's made headlines in all the newspapers and all the dailies and all the channels. A girl who was just given a job for 1,500 rupees a month, was pressurized to convert, and when she refused and left the job, she was kidnapped on the 27th of July and taken away. She managed to come back under great pressure. On the 29th, she was forcibly lifted up again and raped and kept under detention in 3 different districts, taken to a madrasa in district Muzaffarnagar, raped, converted. Her name was changed to Bushra, and she was given a carrot was dangled in front of her, and she was told that she'll get a lovely job in Dubai and married off
But
to
Mr. Singh, Mr. Singh,
this is an allegation.
no, Mr. Singh, please hear me. Hear me.
Please,
Here's my point.
You have to allow me to finish.
No, but here's my point,
sir. You have to allow me to finish first.
Okay.
I've been listening to you patiently.
Go on.
Now, the thing is that this allegation has been made. A lady has said she has been raped. She has also, when she came back, she had to stand 6 times. The police asked her for a statement. She fainted repeatedly because she was being repeatedly being asked for a statement so that she can fault. So my saying is that it is happening. I'm coming from Western UP. It is happening on the ground. There are people who are enticing young girls. You see, there are a whole lot of people who want to educate their daughters.
Okay, I think you've spoken. Now you must hear me, Mr. Singh. Just give me a moment. You've cited one instance. Now this may or may not be true. There's an allegation. The matter is being investigated. I am making the larger point that you use that one instance to make this very grand claim that there is a conspiracy by an entire community. You've got these Pathan hunks wooing gullible Hindu women. That is very, very dangerous spin to be giving to even that one incident, even if I for a moment were to accept that that's true.
It's an allegation.
It's an allegation.
It's an allegation, and Rahul,
Just one hour. No, I don't want. One second, time out. I don't want. Please, with respect, Vasundhara, I don't want everyone speaking at the same time. I've asked the MP a question. Let him respond. I'm coming back to the other guest. Mr. Singh.
Let me put it in another way. What is happening is that there are a lot of people in this country who are investing money on their hard-earned money. They are investing on their female child to further educate her.
That's not answering my question, sir. I will bring you back to my question. No, sir, that's not an answer to my question. Time is precious. You must answer my question. I'm saying here you've cited one instance where there is a charge. There's an other side to that story as well. The charge is currently being investigated.
Many such incidents in my constituency of Lok Sabha Bijnor. But I do not want to get into the detail. I just want to tell you what is happening on the ground. That there are a whole lot of Hindu girls who are going in for further education. Their parents are not, they cannot afford it, but yet they are pushing themselves to educate their daughters.
Rahul, I have a question, and I have a serious question.
Please allow me to finish. There are a whole lot of people who are not as educated but are earning a lot of money. They are enticing these girls on the basis of their money. They are feigning their identities, changing their names, saying they are educated when they are not, on the basis that they are earning a lot of daily wage.
I want Kamal Farooqi to come in over here, because you've now got not just the VHP or the Bajrang Dal saying this on the extreme right. You've got BJP MPs who go to parliament publicly endorsing this bogey of love jihad. They believe it's a conspiracy. There have been some instances which could lead some people to believe that maybe something's going on. Mr. Farooqi, how do you respond to the debate so far?
We have got our honorable MP from BJP, from Bijnor, which is closer to my hometown also. Please allow me, I have been listening to you, Mr. MP. Please listen. Now you have been saying on the television itself that you have got some around 250 cases like this. I challenge you, you must give all those figures. Otherwise, for making these kind of wrong statement, if it turns out to be untrue, you must be prosecuted about what you are spreading in the TV channel. Give me, as my learned friend advocate has already said, in Kerala High Court, one single instance has been reported, and that has been made as the whole story. And you are trying to divide the love between different religions. But there are ample cases where different communities are marrying each other. Sikh community and Hindu, Christians and Hindus and Muslims, Buddhists and Hindus. What you are trying to say, everywhere this is jihad. And number two, you are rather giving a bad name to the Hindu girls also, as if They are so stupid that they will go for the sake of the money to change their religion and work in Dubai and all those kind of things. Where is my enforcement agencies? Where are the Ministry of External Affairs? Why they are not checking? I challenge it. If at all it is there, all those people who are responsible, they must be prosecuted whether they are...
Okay, let Kunwar Bhatendra Singh respond to that. Do you believe that Hindu girls are so stupid that just for a little bit of money they'll get carried away and swayed by these promises, sir?
I want to make it clear, I did not give a number. I said there are many such cases happening in my constituency. I have sorted a lot of them out myself. Yes, ultimately it is economic that makes the difference. Ultimately it is money that makes the difference.
No, you cannot. You will not be allowed to speak this thing on the national television. Give us the number. You are from Bajnor. Give us the number. How many numbers you have about the love jihad? And say it on the channel so that you could also be prosecuted if you are telling lie.
Kerala High Court has
you cannot force me to give you numbers. You cannot have the numbers, but I am telling you there are many such cases.
No, but that's the whole point. That's the whole point. Suddenly, from the 250 that Raghav Lakhanpal speaks about, it's become a more generic, it's become a far more generic phrasing.
Very close to Bijnor. I know.
I want to bring in also, just give me a moment. I want to bring in also at this time Professor Charu Gupta. She's an associate professor at the Department of History in the University of Delhi and has actually written and studied love jihad extensively. We're seeing, ma'am, here a back and forth. You know, you're seeing one certain section of people spinning it in a way that suits them. Then you've got others saying, no, that's not true. You've studied this extensively. Tell our viewers what you found, ma'am, in the course of your study.
Well, as a historian, I would like to say that I have realized that it's the woman's body over which Hindu patriarchal forces have asserted themselves. They have used the woman's body whenever there is an escalation of communal violence to whip up this kind of propaganda, and it is an insult to the woman herself. It is as if she has no mind of her own, and usually in the case of individual conversions, we have found that love, romance and marriage have been very, very important reasons. It's a fundamental right that the woman is asserting. So I think to say, as my research also has shown, that while we need to condemn any case of forceful conversion or abductions and things like that, but to say that even any voluntary elopement or any voluntary conversion or any kind of interreligious marriage is a conspiracy, it's a part of a larger design, I think is completely false.
That's a very strong point. That what you're doing, Vinod Bansal, is disrespecting Indian women by suggesting that they're getting trapped or lured. If somebody decides to fall in love with a Muslim boy, I can't have everyone speak at the same time. I'm sorry. One second. I will moderate this debate. Kunwar Bhatendra Singh, I'm coming back to you. I will moderate this debate and people will speak one at a time so that our viewers can digest and understand what you're saying. Vinod Bansal will answer my question.
जी, मैं आपकी बात को कह रहा था कि जो महिलाओं का जो अपमान की बात कही, आपने जिस शब्द का इस्तेमाल किया वो उसी पे सबसे पहले मुझे ऑब्जेक्शन है कि आपने स्टूपिड कहा महिलाओं को, ये ठीक नहीं है। एक तो
मैं कह रहा हूं कि आप सोच रहे हैं कि वो स्टूपिड है।
नहीं, हमने नहीं सोचा, नहीं, हमने नहीं सोचा, ना हमने सोचा, ना आपको कहना चाहिए इस बात को। एक बात, दूसरी बात ये कि जहां तक रिकॉर्ड का सवाल है, नंबर्स का सवाल है, जो स्टडी आपने 250 लोगों पर करवाई, आप उसको एक साइड में रख देंगे तो आप
हमने नहीं कराई 250 लोगों की।
मेरी बात तो
दिस इज अ स्टडी बाय अ एनजीओ रन बाय अ बीजेपी एमपी।
आप एक बात और
एंड दीस आर बीइंग साइटेड एज द गॉस्पेल।
छोड़िए, मैं एक बात कह रहा हूं, जो आप इस बात को तो मानेंगे, जो असेंबली में जो चीफ मिनिस्टर ने बयान दिया जून 2012 में, खुद चीफ मिनिस्टर चंडी ने कहा था, उमन चंडी ने, कि भी साफ जो है 2667 केसेस मुसलमान महिलाओं को मुसलमान बनाने के लिए धर्मांतरण के द्वारा केसेस सामने आए हैं। ये असेंबली में उन्होंने कहा है। सुनिए,
अगर कोई कन्वर्ट करना चाहता है, कोई शादी करना चाहता है, तो उसमें आप रोक नहीं सकते हैं सर।
भाई साहब, शादी की बात नहीं है, ये फोर्सफुल कन्वर्जन का मामला है।
आप थोड़ी देर करेंगे फोर्सफुल है। ओके, यू मेड योर पॉइंट, यू मेड योर पॉइंट, यू मेड योर पॉइंट, यू मेड योर पॉइंट सर।
सीबीआई का रिकॉर्ड है, सीबीआई ने भी कहा है कि 4000 आज तक कन्वर्जन हो चुके हैं।
गिव हर अ चांस।
have the report. I have the report of CBI with me. In the very first instance, let me say one thing very categorically and very clearly, that there is no place of forceful conversion or any sort of the theory of forceful conversion in Islam. There is a commandment by Allah which says that La fikra deen means that there is no compulsion in religion. In the very first instance, I was never forced, but there are a range of women who are married to Christians, who are married to Muslims.
No, but that's
do you feel that we were fool enough, that we were fooled or allured, or we were enticed by a particular boy of a particular community to get married? Do you feel that we are fool enough, or we do not have our fundamental right? This is to stretch a proposition too far out of its place.
Let the member of parliament respond to it. Kumar Bhatendra Singh, take Masuda's case for example. Take
I have the report. I have just a moment. I have a report which he's been harping on. I have a report of the CBI and which says, CID, which says that yes, there were instances of forceful conversion, but there were instances of conversion, but there was no case of forceful conversion. In late 2009, the Karnataka CID reported that although it was continuing to investigate, it had found no evidence.
Now that's an important point. Just 1 second, Mr. Bansal, I want to go across to Kumar Bhatendra Singh. In Kerala and Karnataka, the police has found no evidence of a conspiracy. Yes, there have been conversions, but those conversions have been voluntary. When a Hindu girl gets married to a Christian or to a Sikh, then the BJP, the RSS, the VHP don't seem to have a problem. The problem is restricted only to when a Hindu girl marries a Muslim boy. Why?
Think of it as...
It is a conspiracy.
It's not.
It's a conspiracy.
When a Hindu girl marries a Christian, you don't have a problem.
ये देखिए, अरब कंट्री से पैसा आ रहा है और बाकायदा रेट फिक्स किए हुए हैं. लड़के जो है ना कॉलेजों के बाहर मोबाइल शॉप के द्वारा और उसके बाद में ब्यूटी पार्लर के द्वारा और इसके बाद में ये अपने डिफरेंट मींस से जो है वो उसको
one by one please Mr. Singh, just 1 second. I'm sorry, I know that this is an emotional topic. I cannot have everyone speaking at the same time. Kamal Farooqi, I'm coming back to you. Turn all faders down except the one that I asked to be put up, please. I'm asking Kumar Bhatendra Singh a question. That when a Hindu girl marries a Christian or a Sikh, nobody seems to have a problem. You object only when a Hindu girl is marrying a Muslim, making it seem as if she doesn't have the right to decide whom she marries, Mr. Singh.
If an educated girl wants to marry anybody, nobody has a problem. If an educated girl who's a major wants to marry someone of her own choice, nobody has a problem, and nobody can have a problem because the law is very clear. The police will get the girl, produce her in front of a magistrate, and she gives her own statement, and then she is allowed to do whatever her statement is. So, but the problem is that there is an effort, a huge communal effort that is being carried out.
No, but there's no evidence. You're making these claims baselessly. You don't have evidence to substantiate what you're saying. Just 1 second, Kamal
Please, I have a question for you and I may be allowed.
Kamal Farooqi wants to make a point. Mr. Farooqi, just 1 second. You've had a fair chance, Vasundhara. I want to give Kamal Farooqi a chance.
To put in a word about
Sir, because you're making claims without evidence. There is no evidence to substantiate any of what you're saying. Yes, Kamal Farooqi.
Honorable Member of Parliament. Honorable Member of Parliament. Yes, Honorable Member of Parliament. Please allow me. Please allow me to put the question. Please allow me to put the question. I will not leave you like this, Mr. Bansal.
You're not willing to listen.
Please allow me to have the question.
Who hasn't
No, please allow me to have the questions.
Yes, Mr. Farooqi, go on quickly.
Listen to me first.
Go on, Mr. Farooqi.
He has said he has made two. Yes, he has made two complaints, and he has made two very serious complaints. And I am with him on this. If even one single case is proved that the money is coming and they are being lured and they are being kept on this, I would like him to not only to say here, say it in the Parliament and outside also, so that if it is proved wrong, anybody who is spreading this canard should be prosecuted.
Oh, absolutely. I agree with you on that completely.
I have got my complete sympathy with my Hindu
sisters. I do not know which.
In fact, they are attacking.
Just 1 second.
Are you looking away from the ground reality?
No. And the third,
what I'm saying is the
thing.
truth.
Last question.
And Anybody who's living in mufassal towns and small towns, living in district headquarters will tell you this. You are just looking away from the reality and it is not going to help.
Okay, 1 second. I want to go across to Rohan for a quick final word. Just 1 second. You're seeing how emotions are surcharged on this issue. There is charge, there's counter charge. Reality is being lost in this chaos. Now, what is the impact of this claim on the ground where you travel?
Why you are not objecting to it? Why are you not objecting to it?
Please, just turn those faders down, please. Yes, sir.
You see the campaign working very well with the Hindus. I spoke to people in Sarawak, in that village where the gang rape allegedly happened, and people there, you could talk to Muslims there. I went and asked them and they had no idea what this meant, what love jihad was. Spoke to most Hindus there and they had heard of this. They said they knew of people who had been taken off and sent to these Arab countries and so on. So it's very clear that the propaganda is being spread. But I did have also a Sangh leader there tell me that it's no different from love marriages. The issue here is just that it's Muslims. How is it any different from an intercaste marriage? Except you can't villainize the other caste for being, something else, not the other. In this case, and in fact Professor Gupta's research suggests this as well, that here because they are clearly the other, it's easy to politicize it.
This is very dangerous. Western Uttar Pradesh is already a tinderbox.
Rahul, I may just have a very quick question, please.
I'm out of time.
I'm having
you
a
make
very
a point
quick,
in 20 seconds. You can't ask a question. I'm out of time.
I'm having a question to the Honorable
I'm
MP
saying
when
we
he
don't
says,
have time for a question. 20 seconds, make your point.
See, my point is that this is a very serious concept of launching the divisive politics. This is dangerous as well as very bad for the sake of our country, for the unity of our country and for the well-being of our country. I must request each and everyone across the length and breadth of this country to please stay away from divisive politics.
What we are seeing is very dangerous. Civil society and people cannot sit back and allow for this propaganda to roll out. Because it is being quoted extensively on the ground and the evidence is very scarce. The evidence is very limited in the manner in which this is being blown up. It's a matter that needs to be put in center stage, which is exactly what we've done. But far more reportage, far more surveys, far more research on the ground is required to expose these hoax and not to make it seem as if every Muslim who's getting married to a Hindu girl is doing so because of a concerted conspiracy. Thank you very much to all my guests for joining us on Center Stage tonight.